Good Friday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and this is your outlook for January 2nd, 2014. And I hope everyone had a fantastic and safe New Year's holiday. And getting back to the weather now, and we're going to have some couple of different events that we're going to be looking at over the next couple of days. And the first one's going to be on the warm side, and it's hard to believe with how much cold air has been around for the last couple of days, but it looks like with a storm track that we're expecting to go to the west of us up here in the Great Lakes, up in this direction here, it's going to allow us to be on the warm side of things, and it's going to pump up some warm air just in time for this storm that is coming in here on Saturday. So will be enough cold air initially, we think, to have some frozen precipitation, but we're going to go over to rain for everywhere across our coverage area during the course of the evening on Saturday evening. So here's a look at Friday here. High pressures in control still. Temperatures on the cool side, but we're not talking about anything below normal today. We're actually near seasonal averages for highs at high temperatures today. Maybe as you get down here toward Delaware, southern New Jersey, might go a tick or two above normal here, what's considered to be normal for this time of year. Generally, we're in the 30s for across our coverage area for normal highs for this time of year. So we'll be close to that today. And then we're going to, this high pressure here that is up here over southeastern Canada is going to slide over toward Maine. That's going to be a key player. It's going to keep some cold air in here initially, but not close enough to our area to really help us with a cold air damming situation here. So when the precipitation moves in here Saturday afternoon, probably early afternoon, it moves in here. Here's the high pressure sitting over Maine, still drawing some cold air into the system here at the onset here. But this area low pressure that's sitting out here is going to track in here like this. So again, the warm air is going to win out with this being on this side of the system. If we were on the western side or northwestern side of the system, it would be a different story. We'd be talking about snow. Well, that's not the case right now with this system, given the track of the storm. So we'll start off as a mixture of snow and sleet, transition to freezing rain, and then go over to rain over entire coverage area. This process won't take all that long. It might be one of those deals where it goes from the initial start, which will be very light precip, a mixture of snow and sleet. And this would be for areas northwest of I-95. We're talking about these areas right here, actually far northwest of I-95, anywhere northwest of that line. So maybe get into some of that in northwest New Jersey. Also north and west of Philadelphia, and this Philadelphia suburbs and points northwest, up to the Lehigh Valley, over to this lower Susquehanna Valley, and up into northeastern PA. But everybody is going to go over to rain in this, so it doesn't matter if you're in the higher elevations, it doesn't matter if you're in northeast PA or far northern PA, you will go over to rain everywhere, and that's just because of the dynamics of the system. You see that going over to rain here as we get overnight Saturday night everywhere. All this green here is rain. Now we're going to go over the NAM high-res future simulated radar and take a look at that. And you can see here is looking at early afternoon Saturday, and you can see here's a 32-degree line kind of running just like this. So anything north of that is below 32, anything south of that is above 32. So down by Philly, over to about maybe Chester County and Lancaster County, you're looking at rain over into central New Jersey and points south. That's all rain at that point. But you see these pinks that are showing up here. You see the blues. This is snow and sleet, and maybe some freezing rain. Even though this is showing green here, the temperatures are here below 32, so this would be freezing rain, not plain rain, if in fact the temperatures are below freezing like the model is showing here. So this would all be frozen precipitation at the onset, but as we go a little bit further here, I'm going to move this down a little bit just so I can move this image, and we go a little bit further from this point, just go 3 hours later, and so you see it's still lighter precipitation. Here's all your freezing rain, still the 32-degree line at this point, which we're now looking at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, is still right here. So it still hasn't really moved too much. You still got lower Susquehanna Valley starts warming a little bit, but still places from like the Lehigh Valley over into northwest New Jersey and points north, you're still below 32 at that point. And then finally, as we get into until we get into about 7 p.m., the Lehigh Valley goes over to rain at that point, still holding on to below 32 up in northeastern PA, but it will be shortly after that where this changes over to rain after that point. So we're not really worried about too much of the way of ice accrual, but you could get some minor accumulations of snow and ice before that changes over. And then this system here, like we said, is going to track through the Great Lakes and bring everything over to rain here. And here is a look at Sunday afternoon. Everything should be wrapped up right around within a few hours of noon, maybe a couple, hour or two before, hour or two after. So say between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. It should end on Sunday, and then it's going to move out, mostly cloudy skies the rest of the day, and it's going to get increasingly breezy. You can see these isobars here very close to being on top of each other. This will indicate some very windy conditions moving in as the front passes. This is a cold front. It's going to be dragged through here, connected to this area of low pressure. Once that front moves through, these winds are really going to start howling, and temperature going to drop off pretty dramatically. We're going to be in the 50s ahead of this front, maybe even 60 in some spots here down by Philly, South Jersey, Delaware. But as soon as this front comes through, it's going to crash temperatures, and those winds are really going to pick up, and they're going to drop back down to cold temperatures again. Then behind this front, still a little breezy here on Monday. And then high pressure moves in. We turn our eyes to our next system. This is an Alberta Clipper that's going to be moving through the area here. GFS has it a little bit further south, a little more amp than most other models. The European model has this as well, just not quite. Not the Northern Stream Energy isn't digging quite as much here. You also have a cold high here. This will be all snow falling here on Tuesday, and we're looking at this to be later Tuesday, maybe late afternoon. Mid to late afternoon and evening on Tuesday in the first part of the overnight, and then it should be out of here. But this looks like it's going to have a lot of bark to it when it comes down through here the Great Lakes, and then as it moves southeast and moves over our area, it's going to lose some punch to it, especially when it hits the central Appalachians here. But it's still going to be intact enough that we could get some minor accumulations out of this. It's going to be a little too early to tell exactly how much, but this one thing is for sure. You don't need a lot of precipitation with this, a lot of moisture. This is high ratio snow, which means the upper levels are very, very cold. So any snow that's falling will be that really dry, fluffy, powdery snow that piles up quickly. So you really you only need about a tenth of an inch of liquid equivalent to squeeze out, maybe a 1 to 2 inch snowfall. Obviously, it's not a lot of snow, but it's just enough that'll get everything white and could get anything slippery until this moves out of here. And we're looking at this system moving out of here in the early part, probably in the evening hours on Tuesday. That's what it's looking like right now, and then not a big deal. This thing moves out, redevelops off the coast, but it's too far away to really help us here. But then we get back in the windy conditions again as we head into Wednesday, and some really, really, really cold air coming in behind this, and I mean really cold. Wednesday, you're going to start to feel with temperatures stuck in the 20s. Pretty much stuck in the 20s on Tuesday too, but mid-20s on Wednesday. And then we go over to this image here. This is from the European model. This is the European deterministic, showing you the 850 millibar temperatures. That's if you went up to the atmosphere about 5,000 feet or close to 5,000 feet. And this is what's showing for the temperature here on Thursday morning. And folks, this is some really, really cold air. These pinks here indicate 25 to 30 degrees Celsius below zero. Okay, so that's some very, very cold temperatures. Now, that is at 5,000 feet. That's not what we're talking about at the surface. But you're going to probably be, on Thursday, stuck in the teens for highs over many areas and single-digit lows or near zero. So it's going to be very, very cold as we get into the middle of next week. And then we do start to moderate after that point. But, wow, it's going to be really cold, a really cold shot. It's definitely going to feel like January as we head into the middle and later part of next week. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for January 2nd, 2015. Have a great Friday.